Hi, good morning everybody, and welcome to your next daily video Devo for Sunday, August the 2nd. Today's passage is called Fire in the Bones. Sounds pretty good. Can't wait to get into it. We're going to start off with Jeremiah 20, verse 9, which says, "Then I said, I will not make mention of him, nor speak any more in his name. But his word was in mine heart, and as a burning fire shut up in my bones, and I was weary with forbearing, and I could not stay." Dang, nose is still itching. Dang it. It was itching the beginning of the last video. But of course, I'm recording these videos all in one sitting, and then I set it up to come out day by day. So that's why you're getting multiple. I record multiple videos in one day. So when I say last video, it means I just recorded that video. So when God's word really becomes a part of one's soul, that one can never be the same again. Oh, excuse me. Sorry about that. If you heard that, sorry. I just drank some of my drink and it coming back on me. As dejected Jeremiah said in his imprisonment, Jeremiah 20 in the previous verse of today's verse, verse 8 says, "The word of the Lord was made a reproach unto me, and a derision daily." That was Jeremiah chapter 20, verse 8, the previous verse of the verse we started up with. And so he said in Jeremiah 23, verse 29, "I will not speak any more in his name." But he could not quit God's word, was burning in his bones, and he must let it out. That's not part of the verse. And back to the verse, it is, wait a minute. I guess that will not speak anymore in his name. That's not part of the verse, I don't think. So the verse is at the end of the second line. It says, "It is not my word. Is not my word like as a fire, saith the Lord, and like a hammer that breaketh the rock in pieces." Hey, sorry about that. Felt like I'm wanting to sneeze. So Psalmist David had a similar testimony in Psalm 39, verse 2 and 3. "I was dumb with silence. I held my peace, even from good, and my sorrow was stirred. My heart was hot within me, while I was musing, the fire burned. Then spake I with my tongue." Okay, let me. It says, "I was dumb with silence. I held my peace, even from good, and my sorrow was stirred. My heart was hot within me, while I was musing, the fire burned. Then spake I with my tongue." Sorry about rereading it. I just had to make sure I said it right. But that was Psalm 39, verses 2 and 3. So when the resurrected Christ expounded unto them in all the scriptures the things concerning himself, the two disciples from Emmaus later testified in Luke 24, 27 and 32, "Did not our heart burn within us while he talked with us by the way, in which he opened to us the scriptures?" So I guess the expounded unto them must have been verse 27, and in verse 32 was, did not our heart burn within us?" So that was verse 32. That's a good way of deducing that, the way they got it done. But the two disciples from Emmaus. That's a fun little place. It's also part of a song. "On the road to Emmaus, where they met Jesus. It was made popular by, I think it was sung on one of the Bill Gaither concert specials they done, where they had a bunch of the gospel singers come in and homecoming, Bill Gaither homecomings. I think that's what they call them. But that was one of the songs, "The Road to Emmaus." I don't know how the rest of it goes. I just remember that one line. On the road to Emmaus, where they met Jesus. I don't know the rest of it. I just know that little line. But that was pretty good. It's a pretty nice song. If you look it up, look under Bill Gaither and put Road to Emmaus. You'll probably find a bunch of videos with that song. And you'll see what I'm talking about. It's a pretty good song. So of all the symbols applied in the scriptures to God's word, that of fire is the most awe-inspiring. Of all the symbols applied in the scriptures to God's word, that of fire is the most awe-inspiring. Fire was not a discovery of some primitive man, as evolutionists imagine, but has always been an instrument of God's judgment, from the flaming sword in Eden in Genesis 3:24 to the lake of fire in hell, Revelation 21:8, and in fact God himself is said to be a consuming fire, Hebrews 12:29. Oh yeah, it's nice. So the word of fire in the burning heart cannot be contained, but must be proclaimed at any cost. And as Paul acknowledged in 1 Corinthians 9:16, it says, "Necessity is laid upon me, yea, woe is unto me, if I preach not the gospel." Oh, sorry about that. Drink's coming back on me again. So necessity is not laid upon me, yea, woe is unto me, if I preach not the gospel. I probably have to reread that. Probably have to read that whole passage, with including that verse, 1 Corinthians 9:16, to figure out what Paul's trying to say in that. So, I'll probably have to look at the rest of the verses in chapter 9 around that verse 16 to understand what Paul's trying to say in that one. Right now, I don't get I don't actually get the gist of the plot of that verse. So I hope y'all do. That's why I repeated it. But I'm not getting nothing out of it. So maybe I have to read the section that verse is in just to get understanding of that verse. So, but I hope y'all did. And that's all for today. For today's video, for today's passage. Tomorrow's passage, for Monday, August the 3rd, is called Acceptable Sacrifices. And we're going to be starting with 1 Peter chapter 2, verse 5. And once again, let me reiterate that in all these videos, I hope if you watch them, I hope you write down the passages, the verse passages that I'm saying, so you can look them up in your own Bible. Look them up. To look up the whole verse so you can see what I was trying to get at with the verse part. Because some of them, they don't have the whole verse listed. They just take pieces of the verses out and put them in there, so it makes the passage sound okay. It works it out of how they listed it. So, but write them down, look them up in your own Bibles, and see what they say to you. See what the whole verse itself says. Sometimes you don't get the whole verse in this little passage. Like that one from yesterday, having two having it had two verses. I think one verse was there, and then the next verse they broke it up, and then the next verse down here. So sometimes like that, you want to read the verses together to not have the other piece in the middle. So you want to see what the verses itself say, so you can get what the passage was trying to tell you. So, but I hope you enjoyed that. Oh yeah, today's passage, when we had the Luke 24 and had 27 to 32, that's the one I'm talking about. I wasn't thinking I'm looking at tomorrow's passage and thinking. But I hope you enjoyed that. Hope you got something out of it. Hope you get fire in your bones. Hope you have fire in your bones. Hope you get fire in your step and everything else. And thank you for watching. Tune in for tomorrow's acceptable sacrifices. And we'll see you next time. Be well. Be safe. I love you. I appreciate you. Thanks for watching. And I'm out.